you're anything like me, you've probably been told, pick a lane, focus on something. And I'm gonna tell you why I refuse to do that. And I'm gonna go as far as to say that it doesn't matter who tells you to do that. They might have your best intentions in mind. They might love you more than they love themselves. But regardless of who's telling you that, they don't understand the points that I'm going to talk about in this video. Because I'm a professional basketball player, but I'm also creating videos and content every single day on multiple platforms. I have over 13,000 followers on Instagram, close to 10,000 followers on TikTok, and I just started this past October. I've published 2 books, and I'm in the process of publishing 2 more. So even within my side ventures, right, my side quests, as you might call them, I'm not picking one lane. I'm writing novels, right? But I also wrote a self-help book. And I'm not just choosing that to be creative. I started a clothing brand, right? I'm making videos like this one. For me, that's creative. I'm creating something that you can watch and enjoy. Right? It's entertaining in some way. It's not as entertaining as a novel, maybe, in terms of what the goal is, but my novels teach, just like these videos teach. But you're thinking, okay, well, all of that is cool. I mean, you're a professional, right? You already made it. Guess what? I started writing my first book when I was a sophomore in high school. I got the idea, I think, when I was a freshman. I created my clothing brand when I was a junior. There I was not yet a professional basketball player, but these ideas were already being born. And I decided to go for these things. I decided to pursue these things because I knew that there are so many kids who put all their eggs in one basket. Right? So people will tell you, just pick one thing and focus on it. But at the same time, they'll say don't put all your eggs in one basket. If your goal is to become a professional athlete, they'll tell you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Have a plan B. I didn't do these things to have a plan B. Everything I did supplemented me becoming a better basketball player. So when I'm writing my books, I'm building that creative muscle that I need on the basketball court. When I'm playing the game of basketball, I'm building that creative muscle and gaining experiences that help me to write my books. Me being ambitious in the game of basketball and going through the heartbreak, suffering, not getting the things that I wanted, seeing dreams collapse, having my bouts with enemies and evil, and just seeing the world and discovering who I am. That all shows up in my self-help books. That all shows up in these videos. That all shows up in my clothing brand. Because I went through the world and I said, hey, I don't want to be a guy who's walking around with Gucci, right? Just for the sake of having Gucci on my chest. Now, if Gucci comes out with a shirt that I actually like, I might wear it. The odds of Gucci putting out a shirt that I like, slim to none, right? But I decided, hey, I'm gonna go in my own lane. That doesn't mean, hey, I'm dropping basketball, I'm dropping books, I'm dropping making videos, I'm dropping any of this just to go make my clothing brand, just to go build that. No. Because everything is linked. You could call me watching Netflix a distraction for me writing my books. And if I do too much of that and not enough of writing the books, you'd be absolutely right. But my books have been inspired by different series that I've watched, different movies that I've watched, different other books that I've read that are not my own. Without the others who've come before me, there would be no Master of Gaia series. That's the name of my novel series. Without me going out and experiencing life outside of the basketball court, there would be no Becoming Yourself. Because guess what? Myself, and that's the name of my self-help book, Becoming Yourself. It's not out yet, but we're working on it. The manuscript is finished. It just needs to be polished. It needs to be beta read. But without me going and experiencing these different things and going and saying, hey, I'm going to write some books and I'm going to go through the process of publishing them and I'm going to procrastinate and prioritize video games over doing the things that I know are going to make a lasting impact on the world. Without me doing those things, without me learning those lessons, without me experiencing what it is to be a person, the things that I've created wouldn't exist. Without me going and saying, hey, this past October, hey, I see people just sharing their thoughts just like I am right now. It's not overly polished, it's not overly edited. They're just sharing who they are. Without me being inspired by that, without me scrolling and seeing hundreds, if not 1,000 of those videos, I wouldn't be sitting here today making this video and reaching you. You might be in the middle of the same thing. You might have told yourself just one more video. Okay, this is the last video, then I'm gonna go work on whatever it is that I wanna work on. Because you have multiple different endeavors going on. You have something that you know is your main focus. Just like for me, is playing the game of basketball. You know, hey, this is the main thing that I want to do. If I had to drop everything else and do this, it would be this. But you don't want to do that. These other things are still calling you. And the outside world is telling you it's a distraction. But that's not calling you for no reason. And a perfect example of this is Kobe Bryant. Because without Kobe Bryant, I wouldn't have become a published author. Here's why. And it's not even Kobe Bryant existing. It's actually Kobe Bryant's death that inspired me to become a published author. Let me backtrack, because I already had the idea and I was already actively writing my first novel. Like I said, I was a sophomore in high school when I started writing. And the idea I had gotten earlier, it was still something, and I'm fleshing this idea out, but when I started the document, I believe I was a sophomore. Might be wrong on that. Kobe Bryant, right? This is sophomore year, 2 more years of high school, 3 years later, right? After me starting and being halfway through with my book and procrastinating year after year, summer after summer, there were summers where I didn't write. I had the most time, but I didn't write. Why not? Because I was afraid, and for those of you who think I'm still driving, I'm not. I'm parked. There were summers where I wouldn't write, not because I didn't have the time, but because I was afraid of people seeing it and not liking it. I was afraid of me actually writing and publishing a book and it being seen as a distraction. It being seen as me not being focused on the game of basketball, because I knew from the age of 6 that I wanted to be the best basketball player that I could be. And I knew if I became the best basketball player I could be, I would be the best basketball player. And I'm still on that journey. I'm only 25 years old. And I've made it further than so many people. So many of my peers who were ahead of me at this point. Who were ahead of me when I was 6. Who were ahead of me when I was 16. Who were ahead of me when I was 20. I've just continued. But I stayed focused on the game of basketball, not obsessively, not saying I'm going to spend every waking hour playing the game of basketball. Now, backtrack. Kobe Bryant. How did this inspire me to publish my books and to finish my book? It's this. Kobe Bryant, after he retired from playing the game of basketball, was running a media company. He won an Oscar, and he was publishing books. He had an entire career in creation planned. Books planned, movies planned, series planned. All of those burned up in the helicopter with him. Because no one can execute your ideas like you can. And you didn't get those ideas for no reason. Just like Kobe Bryant did not get those ideas for those books after his career, he also didn't get those ideas for his books for no reason. He was working on this stuff silently, secretly, during his career. He was consuming content. He was consuming movies, series, books. He knew he was going to be creating in some way, form, or fashion when he was done playing the game. Those ideas burned up with him. Doesn't mean that no one can take what he did and make something great, but nobody's going to do it the way Kobe Bryant would have done it. Just like no one is going to do that thing that you're afraid of it being called a distraction. Nobody's going to do it like you do it. And guess what? If you're an athlete, any records you set, any contract you sign, any scholarship you get, that is temporary. Something that you create, like this video right here, you might be watching this 100 years from now. Maybe not. But when you create something, when you turn an idea into reality, that lasts so much longer than a made shot, than a touchdown, than a home run, than a sprinting record. That affects the entire world. Because guess what? If you take my words right now and you go out and affect the world and create something that lasts, it's not just me making this video and that reaching other people. Your video goes out and reaches other people. So my video inspired you to make your video or create whatever it is you want to create. And that's a ripple effect. Just like Kobe is still impacting the world through me. My dad, my grandfather is the one who inspired me to even write books. And he didn't even write novels. I didn't know that. I just heard my grandfather was an author. He was a very creative person. He never wrote any novels, not that I know of. He was very artistic though. And so when I saw he was a professor, that he had published books, I saw that it was possible. So guess what? He has been gone for over 10 years. He's still impacting the world. Because guess what? I sit down every single day and I write my novels. Because of him. There's a character named after him in the book. The first book is dedicated to him. And this is a 5-book series that we're talking about. With a sequel series and a prequel series already planned. So you deciding to do whatever it is that you're inspired to do and create that and make that real, that's not a distraction. That's destiny. That's you impacting the world. Your main focus, you're doing that probably for you. That's probably your first love. That's probably what you would do if you were alone on this planet. Everything else you get inspired to do, yeah, it's always going to be for you. It's always going to be for your enjoyment. But it's also to make the world a better place. How much time we got here on the camera? 13 minutes. I'm making at least a 10-minute YouTube video every single day. I'm going to cut it right here. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you tuning in. And if you're somebody who's been told to pick a lane and you're tired of feeling that discomfort about dropping things, then make sure you're subscribed. Make sure we're locked in, because this is a community of those people. You found that place. You found somebody who's doing the same thing. So you can watch me continue to build, and you can let me know what you're building. And we can build together. We're friends. From this moment forward, if you were questioning that before, we're friends. You and I. So introduce yourself to me in the comments. Let me know who you are, what you're building, and don't pick a lane. You're the lane. Be that. Own that. Create. And we're going to affect the world together. I believe that. Day by day. Always remember, the best is yet to come, and I'll see you tomorrow. Or on the next video, which should be here, and the option to subscribe and continue building together is right here. I'll see you wherever you choose to see me next.